Hey guys, Panzer J back here in Operation Champ. We are up to turn 13, July 1942. So 13.7 for the US and the KMT. So we're going to get right into our tech rolls because we got a lot going on here this turn, and not overly complicated, but a few different things kind of going on. So first tech, which is my all-time favorite part of the US turn. We are going to try for advanced artillery at stage 3, 7 or higher. Heavy bomber stage 2, 9 or higher. Long-range aircraft stage 2, 7 or higher. How about advanced anti-submarine warfare, a 7 or higher, and it's not on the board. Strategic rockets stage 1, 9 or higher, and radar 7 or higher, and that's not on the board. So starting from top to bottom, we'll go with advanced artillery 7 or higher. An 11, so we succeeded there, and that does finish off advanced artillery. Heavy bombers 9 or higher. A 5, we missed that. Long-range aircraft 7 or higher. A 3, we missed that. Advanced anti-submarine warfare 7 or higher. A 5, we missed that. Strategic rockets 9 or higher. An 11, we succeeded there. And radar 7 or higher, a 1. So 2 out of 6, a whopping 33%. So we'll finish off advanced artillery, and we'll move strategic rockets up to stage 2. So we have maybe an outside chance of getting the victory point for tech, but I'm not that confident right now. Okay, so on to purchases. So the U.S. has $84 to spend. So we're going to purchase 2 Marines for 8 advanced subs at $6 a piece. So that's 48, that's 56. 2 infantry for 6, that's 62. A naval transport for 6, that's 68. We are going to lend lease the Australians a destroyer for 6, that's 74. And then we're going to lend lease the KMT a fighter for 10, that's 84. So spending our full $84. The KMT has 9 to spend. We're spending 8 of it, so we save $1, and we're buying 2 mountain infantry for those $8. Okay, so on to combat. I think I've got like 8 maybe combats here, so some of them aren't going to take too long. But okay, the first one is down here in South America. So we're going to come into Peru. Categoric Cow has a single militia there. So into Peru is going to be these 2 cavalry from the Amazons. We've got 6 infantry in the Amazons. 4 of them are going in. The other 2 are staying behind. Then from Chile, we've got 3 infantry coming up. And this artillery is also coming up. And then finally, this cavalry in Patagonia is going to go 1, 2, and that's going to make its way up there too. So altogether, we've got 3 cavalry, 7 infantry, and 1 artillery. It's mountainous, so it'll be -1 for all the units attacking there against that 1 militia. Then over here, we're coming off of escort duty with this destroyer in 72. And he's going to go up 1, 2, 3 into C-Zone 30. I believe coming off escort duty is combat movement. If it's not, then that would have just been done non-combat. But regardless, he is going to go to C-Zone 30. Over in the Pacific here, we are going to attack the Marshall Islands. Madman Dan has a militia there. So in the Marshalls, we are going to come down from San Francisco, and we're at a major port. So this transport is going to pick up the Marine and the infantry in San Francisco and come down 1, 2, 3, drop those 2 guys off. And then coming up here from C-Zone 136 is this heavy cruiser for a shore bombard 1, 2. So we'll have a shore bombard at 3 for the heavy cruiser, and then the Marine and the infantry will be attacking it at 2 against that militia, who is a defending it at 2. The 4th battle is going to be here, this light cruiser that Madman Dan has in 66. So we've got a coastal sub there now. So that's going to take part. And then here in Midway, we've got a tactical bomber that is on Midway, or excuse me, not the tactical bomber, my mistake, the medium bomber. So we've got a medium bomber on Midway, and we are at a air base. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, and the coastal sub and the medium bomber are going to attack that light cruiser. And then one other thing I forgot to mention at the start of my turn here is Madman Dan got 2 hits with his kamikazes last turn, one of which he target selected, so he took out my damaged fleet carrier. And then I have to choose the second casualty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the fleet carrier that's damaged as the second casualty. And that did have a tactical bomber on it. So the tactical bomber is going to land on Midway itself. So he ended up taking out, so with 4 kamikazes, he got 2 hits apiece on my fleet carriers and took them both out. So he's done exceptionally well with his kamikaze. Okay, attack number 5 is going to be here in the Karil Islands. So he has a single militia, and I've already contacted Dan. He does not want to unsubmerge his sub there in 40 to contest this attack. So what we're going to do is from Midway, we are taking 2 naval transports, and they are going to move 1, 2, 3. And again, they're at a major port, and they're taking the 2 Marines and the 2 regular infantry there to assault the Karil Islands. And then along with that, we are going to bring 4 battleships, 7 heavy cruisers, and I believe 6 light cruisers and 6 destroyers are all coming along. So the 4 battleships will be the shore bombards. So the 7 heavy cruisers, all from Midway. The 6 light cruisers, the 6 destroyers, and the 4 battleships. So I'll shore bombard with those 4 battleships at a 4, and then have the 2 Marines and the 2 infantry if the militia isn't taken. Okay. The 6th battle is going to be here in Sea Zone 38. So I'm trying to clear that sea zone. So what I'm going to do is off of Midway, I have a jet fighter and 2 regular fighters. And again, I have an air base there so they can move 5. So they are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and attack that sea zone and hopefully clear it. Now, the legal landing spot for those planes are going to be, I have 3 light carriers left here in Sea Zone 62 off of Midway. And again, they can move 1 extra because of the major port. So if I was to clear Sea Zone 38, I would use the 3 light carriers, and they would come up 1, 2, 3, 4, and land in, or sail to Sea Zone 38, and that's where those planes could land. The 7th combat is down here on the Hanen Island there. The Marine that Hambone lend-leased, thank you, sir, is going to come down 1 from that strait and take Hanen Island in a walk-in. And then the 8th battle is going to be here in Shantung. We are going to send 5 of our cavalry from Sichuan over 1 to Shantung and take on that CCP infantry. So those are going to be our 8 attacks. So let's go over here first. Attack number 1 is into Peru. And again, Categoric Cow has a single militia. So we've got 3 cavalry, 7 infantry, and 1 artillery. All -1 because of the mountains. So let's do the 3. Well, actually, we got to do the first strike. So the artillery first strike, I need a 2 or less here. And we got a 2. So we took out his militia without him firing back. Okay, so that takes Peru. And that's up $1 for the United States. And down $1 for Germany. So let's go ahead and move that real quick. The Germans go down to 53. And the United States goes up to 71. Okay, so attack number 2, if it's considered combat, was taking that destroyer off of escort duty, and he went up to Sea Zone 30. So now battle number 3 is going to be in the Marshall Islands. So we've got a shore bombard with our heavy cruiser here. So we're going to try to take out that militia with a 3 or less. And a 10 definitely misses. So then we get 2 rolls at a 2 with our marine and our infantry. And 2 4s don't cut it. So he gets a 2 or less with his militia. A 10 misses. Then we get 2 rolls at a 2. A 12 and a 10 miss. His militia at a 2. A 10 misses. Round 3, looking for a 2. And we got a 1, so we got his militia. Okay, his militia in return, a 4 misses. So we go ahead and take the Marshall Islands. And that is worth $1 for the United States. So let's go ahead and move Japan down 1 to 32. And the U.S. up 1 to 72. Okay. So now on to combat number 4. We have a coastal sub and a medium bomber against a light cruiser. Okay, so the sub gets a first strike. Let's see if that hits. A 12 clearly misses. Okay, so our medium bomber is a 7 or less, and a 10 misses. His light cruiser at a 5 or less, an 11 misses. Let's try to kill him with our medium bomber at a 7 or less, a 2 hits. So we take out the light cruiser. He returns at a 5 and gets an 8. So that light cruiser is dead. Okay, battle number 5 is off of the Karil Islands. So we've got 2 Marines and 2 infantry assaulting a single militia, and we've got our 4 battleships at shore bombard. So we're looking for a 4 or less here with our 4 battleships. And we got 2 3s, a 6, and a 12, so we killed him. So we end up taking Karil Islands with no casualties. It's not worth anything, but we take that. Okay, so now on to combat number 6, which is the jet fighter and the 2 regular fighters attacking this sea zone here. So Madman Dan has 5 destroyers, 2 light carriers, and 2 fighters on those carriers. And then he's got the defenseless transports there as well. So on this first round of combat, we both have fighters in the fight. So any hits with fighters are going to deal a aerial casualty to the opponent. So I've got 2 regular fighters and a jet. So the 2 regular fighters are 6s. And we got a 3 and a 4, so that's 2 hits. And he's going to have to take his 2 planes as casualties. And then I've got a jet at an 8 or less and an 8 hits. So he's going to have to take a 3rd casualty. I didn't get what his casualty list was, So I'm not sure what he wants to choose as another casualty. It's clearly either a destroyer or a light carrier. I would assume he would take the light carrier, but I'm not sure. Okay, so now in return, he's got first 2 fighters at a 6 or less, and he got a 6 and a 9, so I have to lose a fighter. He then has 5 destroyers at a 4 or less. And he got, well, there you go. He got a 2, a 4, an 8, a 7, and a 10. So he took 2 more hits. I took 2 more hits, and that's my last 2 planes. So in that battle, we'll take my jet and my 2 fighters off. He will lose his 2 fighters, and I'm just going to assume for now it's going to be a light carrier for his 3rd hit. Okay, and that's battle number 6. On to number 7, which is just a walk-in. So this KMT Marine came down 1 and took Hanen from the Japanese. So that is up $1 for the KMT and down $1 for Japan. So 31 for Japan. The KMT go up to 8. Okay, last battle, which is always fun because we've got the retreat roll in effect for the KMT. So we've got 5 cavalry coming into Shantung. No mountains, no river penalty, anything like that. So we got 5 rolls of a 3, and he, a board gaming bro, has a single infantry defending at a 4. So 5 rolls at a 3, and we get 2 1s, a 2, a 12, and a 6. So one of the 5 cavalry have to retreat back to Sichuan, and then we did get a hit on, several hits on his infantry. So he defends at a 4, and he got a 4. So I got to lose a cavalry. So we end up taking Shantung back from the CCP with 3 cavalry. And that was worth $2. So up $2 for the KMT. So that pushes them up to 10. And down 2 for the CCP. They're down to 10. So we're even Steven right now. Okay, so that is it for combat. So on to non-combat. So first start here in the Atlantic. We've got a destroyer that was on escort duty in 23. So again, I should have probably done this earlier. If coming off escort duty is combat, then it should have been done in combat. But regardless, it's going to come down 1, 2, 3, and it's going to be in C-Zone 30 there off of New York. Then we're going to take all of these ships here in 76. And I got 2 transports there. So they're going to pick up the 2 infantry that stayed behind in the Amazons. And all these ships are going to come over 1, 2, and the 2 infantry are going to get dropped off in Texas. And all of these ships are going to be here in C-Zone, what is that? 71. So we've got 2 transports, 2 destroyers, and 2 light cruisers there in 71. Then over here in Gran Chaco, we have a fighter. That's going to come 1 Chile, 2 106, 3 103, and 4 land in Panama. And Categoric Cow's fighter isn't on any kind of patrol. It's just on that island, so that fighter should be able to move through there. We're going to go ahead and rail this light armor in eastern Mexico up to New York. And I believe that's it for non-combat. Oh, actually, we'll go ahead and move this infantry from Patagonia up 1 to Chile. And that should be it for non-combat over here. Actually, you know what? We're just going to move this 1 infantry from Rio up to Caatinga. Might as well. He's just sitting there doing nothing. So that is it on this side of the world. Over in the Pacific. So let's start with the U.S. first. So we've got first this medium bomber. It went 1, 2, 3. So it's going to go 4 and land on Wake Island with that militia. Then we're going to have this coastal sub in 59 move up 1 to Sea Zone 56. Then we're going to have one of our tactical bombers. We've got 2 tactical bombers on Midway. And again, we're at an air base, so we can move 5. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and land here on, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but it's the tip of, looks like the Aleutian Islands there. So that's going to land there. That's going to move its 5. Then in Midway, we have 3 light carriers with 3 jets on them. Clearly, they're not needed for Sea Zone 38 now because I lost that battle. So those 3 light carriers are going to move 1, 2, 3 into the Sea Zone off of the Karil Islands. And I'm going to put all this stuff on a card. Then over here off of San Francisco, we are going to have these 4 advanced subs go 1, 2, 3, 4 into the Sea Zone off of the Karil Islands. And again, we can move through this zone here because Madman Dan submerged that sub. And we're at a major port over here, so that gets the extra movement. And all 3 of these light carriers with 2 jets on them are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and be in that same sea zone off of the Karil Islands. Okay. Then the last tactical off of Midway, with again a movement of 5, is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and land on the 1 empty carrier that came over from San Francisco. And I believe that is it for the U.S. And I'm not sure. We do have a little bit here. So for the KMT, we're going to take this infantry in Singhai and bring him down into Sichuan. And that should do it for non-combat. So on to unit placement. So we've got our 2 Marines. Now I do have improved factories, so my minor factories produce 2 units. So we're going to put these 2 Marines down here in Texas. Then we've got our 8 advanced subs, and those are going over here in the Pacific off of San Francisco. Then we have 2 infantry and a naval transport, and they're all going up here. So we're going to put the 2 infantry in New York and the 1 naval transport in 30 off of New York. Then we've got 2 Lend-Lease items. So first, the destroyer to the Australians. It can make its way down from San Francisco and come down here off of Sydney. I believe that is where he would want it. And then the fighter can follow the same path from San Francisco that Hambone used to deliver the Marine. So it can leave San Francisco, come through the Central Pacific, through here, and land in Kwang Tung. So that is it for the U.S. The KMT have 2 mountain infantry to place. We're placing both of them in Kwang Tung. And I believe that is it for unit placement. So on to collect income. So the U.S. gained $2 this turn. So they're up to 72. They didn't save anything. They have a $12 bonus, so that's 84. And then let's go ahead and do our Wartime Economy. So 84 plus 9. So $93 the U.S. will have next turn. So what do I got over there? 84. Another 10 is 94. Take 1 back. That's our 93. Okay, the KMT saved $1, and they're up to 10. So that should give them $11 next turn. So 93 for the U.S. and 11 for the KMT. Now I'm going to definitely go over some stuff here so everybody knows what units are in what territories here. So in New York, we've got 2 infantry and a light armor. And in C-Zone 30 off of New York, there are 2 destroyers and a naval transport. Down in Texas, we've got 2 Marines and 2 infantry. In C-Zone 71, we've got 2 naval transports, 2 destroyers, 2 light cruisers. Panama has a coastal artillery gun, a militia, and a fighter. Peru has 7 infantry, 3 cavalry, and an artillery. Let's go over here. The KMT in Shantung is 3 cavalry. Nanking is 4 militia. Kwangtung has 4 militia, 2 mountain infantry, and a fighter. Hanen has a marine. And in Sichuan, we should have 4 mountain infantry, 4 regular infantry, 3 militia, and 11 cavalry. The Marshall Islands have a marine and an infantry, and in C-Zone 100 there off of the Marshalls is a heavy cruiser and a transport. Wake Island has a militia and a medium bomber and a coastal sub in that C-Zone. Off of San Francisco, we have 8 advanced subs. In 56, we have a coastal sub. On the Karil Islands, we have 2 Marines and 2 infantry. And in that C-Zone, we have 4 advanced subs, 4 battleships, 7 heavy cruisers, 6 light cruisers, 6 destroyers, 2 transports, and 6 light carriers with 5 jets and 1 tactical bomber on them. There's also a tactical bomber there on the southern Aleutian Islands there. And that should cover the U.S. and the KMT. Turning things over now to Categoric Cow for the Italians to finish off here turn 13, and then Germany on turn number 14.